Hi there. This is a reading for Geminis, air signs, mutable, people who are good at moving from one situation to the next. My grandmother was a Gemini, and we joked, or I was raised to think that there were two grandmothers. The one who was warm and friendly and ready for us to all visit, and then the one that was not at all available or friendly and who preferred and needed to go off by herself. And then I believe I've had a partner and also my dad with Gemini moons, and so this quality was a part of them as well. But there are other mutable signs. Virgos have a similar tendency to either be warm and available or completely absent. Anyway, let me just say, I don't know a lot about Geminis, but I did dream about Geminis last night. And I think I was just thinking about doing this reading, but in the middle of the night, what I learned, what seemed more important about Geminis was that you're never alone. I read that you don't like to be alone, but when I was dreaming, what I learned is that Geminis don't need to be alone because there's two of you. And so you have this counterpart. And I think of this in terms of inner child work, that I have inner children that socialize with me when I need to, and other ways of connecting energetically, however you think about that, to a higher power, to the earth. But in my dreaming, I was given the message that you need not feel alone, Gemini, because you have yourself and you have your other self, and you can even maybe more so than the rest of us astrological signs be in a conversation with two sides of yourself. Anyway, take that or leave that, and maybe more of that dream will come back as I do this reading. So I'm going to start out with something new, which is I just ordered this beautiful Elemental Oracle deck by Stacy DeMarco. This is the guidebook for it, and I'm shuffling them right here while I'm talking. And I just thought, for the very first time, I will see what it feels like to pull an oracle card for you to see how I can see this reading going here. Okay. Wow. All right. I saw this card yesterday as well. The card that you get is Cleansing Storms. You can see there's a hand with a woman sitting on the palm of that hand, which reminds me of the Ace of Cups, actually. But the other aces in the tarot deck, that they're that kind of new beginning through divine guidance. And here we see a gorgeous storm happening out against a starry sky, and that overflowing of emotions, cleansing storms. Let me see, I'm going to go ahead and look this up here in the book for you. So the reading says, storms, cleansing. Sometimes you need to raise a lot of energy to blow away what you no longer need. An issue will come to a dramatic head. Cleanse your body. Let go of what you feel you no longer need. Be specific in your release. Harm as little as you can. I'm going to just read that introductory part here. The word of power it gives you is tempestus, which is Latin for storm. This card reminds me of Tower, a kind of dramatic change that comes when you haven't manifested it or made it happen in your own life. It comes at you in a way. So let's see whether this storm, this cleansing storm, this Tower transformation figures in or helps clarify your reading. So I'm going to go ahead and pull 7 cards here for a reading for you. I pull 7 cards. I'll explain what each means in the spread, And then we'll go back and clarify. And I'm going to pull the first cards with Tarot of the Old Path. And then I will clarify with the Light Seers. And just see if the story resonates with you. And if it doesn't, move on. Find one that does. Okay, cutting the deck. First card will be your recent past. So this would be yesterday or before. And so we get here Mastery, or the Chariot. And here we have 4 colorful horses, each representing one of the 4 elements, driven by this, I always see a gorgeous drag queen here, a bearded, muscular person who's fabulous. And so we could say that you moved out of stagnation into fast movement recently, yesterday or before, or a minute ago. And your present now is the 3 of Pentacles. This tells me that you are currently collaborating with others. You are working on visioning and realizing that vision in the real world. Through Pentacles is always about collaboration. It's about the earthy material world. It could be just making something real, like a new home, making money, like in a real job. So working with others. Now, hidden influences we have here, the 4 of Cauldrons. The 4 of Cauldrons is usually about not seeing an opportunity. And if you look here, these 2 sleepyheads who seem to be really unconscious, even she who's standing seems to be dropping off to sleep and pouring her feelings or water into his open cup as he lies sleeping. And in the background we can see the unseen, unrecognized opportunity of that 4th cauldron or cup. So that's, you may not realize it, but there is an Ace of Cups. So it's a good card for what you're unconscious of. This card will be you in the reading. And you rock, you are the Queen of Rods or Wands. This is a passionate, creative person of great willpower. Lots of fire in this Queen of Rods, in you. And she is usually associated with everyday people, like the working class. Yeah, in this deck, she doesn't have a black cat with her. And sometimes I just miss the black cat in other decks. But here I miss the black cat because she does not have one. But she does have, it looks like an olive branch in her hand. And some morning glories and lots of gorgeous red hair. Okay, so this next card will be the people in your life. The people in your life are represented here by the 4 of Swords. These are people who are healing, or a person who is healing. They have gone inward. They are sheltered in these walls. They are resisting. She has her hands out like that to signify really resistance to communication with you. So you're in a passionate mood. You're ready to collaborate because you're in the 3 of Pentacles. You're coming from all of this momentum, and the person or people in your life are kind of not available to you. So that's interesting. We'll find out more about that in this story. We're gonna get some advice here. So this card is your advice. It's a wonderful card. It is the Sun. This is the card of absolute ultimate happiness. We see 2 naked people at Stonehenge worshiping the sun and a beautiful golden eagle. My cat's going to join us here for a moment. That's a first. Thanks, Zoe. You can see there's a really beautiful golden eagle in the front of these two figures who are looking at the sun. And I have never noticed that before. This seems a very magical, mystical, spiritual form of the sun. And so I would consider the advice here not only to recognize your joy, focus on your gratitude, but also perhaps to consider the mystical and the energetic connections that go into that higher plane, especially since your person or people is isolating and healing and probably not a lot of fun. So there are other ways to connect. And finally, your future is the close. So this is the card we call death. It is a card really about transformation happening. So you get the advice of the sun followed by the close. Death. And that is the card of Scorpio. I feel very comfortable with this card. It has both a baby, signifying the rebirth, and the figure of death, the classic hooded guy with the scythe. It also, we see an owl representing the night, as well as a beautiful butterfly or moth flying up from those blue flowers. So we ought to consider a dramatic transformation in your future. Pardon me, my nose really itches. So this for me goes with this overlying energy of the storms, the cleansing storms, the sun, and then the close, your advice, and then your future coming up here. But we'll go ahead and find out more about that. On the bottom of your deck, here we have the Strength card. She is feminine power. She has the caduceus, symbol of communication, commerce, also healing. And she has tamed this lion, which would be her willpower. So she's in tension, I think, here in a nice way. You can see the same red-headed lady, although the Queen of Rods, you, might have a fiery, passionate, even lustful tendency. This underlying energy suggests that you have tamed this energy. And then I can see in this image, maybe because you are air signs, I can see that cloudy sky is a bit disturbed in the background. The air is moving. And so if I see these two figures representing the twins of Gemini, I see this passion and this self-control being a part of your dual aspect here. And in addition, on the bottom of the deck, we get the Page of Pentacles. This is the Slowpoke Knight, so this would suggest a slow energy. This goes, so again, we have, this tension here between the fiery, fast Queen of Rods, who's just arriving on the chariot, with the slower, more self-controlled aspect here that you might identify with. And then after that, cards on the bottom of the deck are upside down, and following Cindy's lead on Awakening to Spirit Tarot, I will stop reading the bottom of the deck there. Highly recommend her as a reader if you haven't already met her. She is probably my favorite reader. And if you're interested in who else I follow and subscribe to and have learned from, please let me know in the comments. Okay, now I'm going to clarify each of these cards. I do see this stormy weather, and so maybe we'll see more of it coming up that leads here to the sun as your advice and the close as your future. All right, clarifying mastery. We have more movement. The Seven of Swords. She's moving from rough water to to calmer water. She is pulled by these birds, these ravens that represent the swords in this deck. It's a very austere kind of movement through a kind of apocalyptic setting. When I look at this card relative to others in this deck, it is a very somber card. So we're clarifying mastery, or the Chariot, and she helps us clarify that. They're both wearing a red cloak, which red often signifying a great deal of willpower that is probably behind this movement. Secondly, here's your Ace of Cups. So there is a recent offer of love, of connection in your life. I see it as the hidden energy right here. The two unconscious people are missing this Ace of Cups back here. So you might want to look back into your recent past to see who's offering that Ace of Cups. Is it a friendship? Is it a new love? Is it you? Is it your own sort of momentum towards building a practice of self-love and self-care? It could be any of those things. And the cups represent your emotions. So it's an emotionally satisfying, potentially romantic, but also could be just an intimate, good friendship. Less likely to be work, but yeah, this is an offer of love in your recent past. And finally, you get the King of Cups here. So this is the emotionally mature, rather private king. He has a kingdom to look out for, but you can see he has his finger on the cup. He is aware of that cup. He's not asleep to, he's not this feller, although maybe he has since fallen asleep. But yeah, so we see in the recent past that you have this peaceful, grounded King of Cups, and he is sitting before the ocean. I see that boat coming in, and because you are arriving on a chariot, there's arrival by boat here. So that may figure in and make sense to you, something recently arrived, or you recently arriving, or you're traveling towards this King of Cups in the recent past. Lots of movement recently. And now, the present, we're going to clarify this Three of Pentacles. Who is, what's happening here? You've stopped. You're in Pentacles. You're going to work. You're working with others. So what else? The Three of Pentacles for Gemini. That creative, intellectual side of you. Maybe find out who you're collaborating with or where you're collaborating. Let's see. So we get a Page of Pentacles. This is a young person, youthful energy, grounded, or needs to get grounded. In this card, the pentacle has roots growing from it. And the figure, who's obviously like a little young person with the baggy pants, would have been like a hip-hop fashion when, not that long ago, but maybe a super long time ago to you, depending on how old you are. And this person is, I see, kind of looking inward, calm. Pentacles tend to mean slow moving, methodical. Yeah, and the Page is young, a newbie. But someone that has brought a real beginning here in the 3D world. Secondly, in sort of opposite energy, we have the Eight of Wands. Very fast, very energetic, very great communication. This would suit you, I think, Gemini, all of this communication. This also can mean travel here. The pink of it actually reminds me of the Ace of Cups here, where we have this possibility in the romantic, emotional realm. A really great communication happening here within this Three of Pentacles collaboration, and it seems to me to come from creative, passionate, artful heart place, because of that echo of the Ace of Cups. Because we see the Ace of Cups hidden in your hidden influences. And thirdly, we get the moon as a part of what is happening here. This card is about illusion, about what's not visible, not apparent in the 3D world. You can see the black dog and the white dog howling at the same moon, and the woman underwater in the feelings here. So there's travel over water. There's the King of Cups in the recent past, waiting for your boat to come in. It feels to me like you've been delayed here, but there's still some kind of energetic communication happening. I mean, you could just be delayed at home, collaborating, working. I know I am in this time of COVID because we're supposed to be isolating. And so I know of Gemini, from what I read, you guys like to travel. So if you're stuck somewhere, it's as if you have fallen off your boat, fallen off that chariot into the slow, contemplative space that is underwater, and perhaps into that aspect of yourself, from the fast-moving Queen of Rods that you appear here as, to this strength and a Page of Pentacles. Oh, interesting. I'm glad sometimes I read cards wrong. It's the Page of Pentacles that you have here, and I feel like the cards are like, wrong, you read it wrong, because you got the Page of Pentacles again. So not the Slowpoke Knight, that would be the Knight of Pentacles. But that same young, solid person who's grounded. This one is quite lovely and sensitive. Just one of my favorite faces in this deck, the Tarot of the Old Path. Okay, so you're collaborating, you're either in groundedness, you're communicating, you're under the moon's influence in the present. So this is a move from the quick momentum, this to kind of a little bit of perhaps getting distracted by hobbies, creative work. But still, we could see this intuitive connection happening. Okay. Now I see the sun here on the bottom, and since I noticed it, I'll share it. This is your advice. This is this card, which is, we will clarify ahead, but the sun appears here, and so it reminds me that although you're under the moon, the sun is your advice. So you might, again, the cards are just reiterating to us that if you're under the moon, perhaps shift your perspective towards that sunny, joyful, positive energy. No. Gratitude if you're feeling stuck. Okay, so we're going to clarify now the Four of Cauldrons. I feel like I need to shuffle again. So this is your underlying influence. It's the dreamy, sleepy couple pouring their emotions into one another, and they have forgotten the cup of love there behind them. In a way, this suggests to me like a relationship that has fallen asleep. And so remember, you had the Ace of Cups in your recent past. It may be that this is telling you that you ought to, wake up, that you can wake up and remember that love that you have in your existing relationship with this really beautiful king here, who may or may not be a man, but is certainly the most feminine man in the deck, most emotionally mature character. But this Four of Cauldrons, these two have fallen asleep. What else? So we have the Knight of Swords there he is. He's racing to get on his motorcycle. He's got his crossbow on his back. There's a raven in the sky signifying the swords, the suit of swords here. This is fast movement. It's intellectual. All right. Sometimes it can be angry. I don't feel a lot of anger. I feel kind of like this. I definitely feel like a sleepiness in the energy here. But there is truth coming. There's a truth. It's on its way, and it's coming fast. And it's reiterated here in your present that there's the Eight of Wands, and also we have the Six of Swords here. There's something that has been coming towards you, some truth, and it appears to be related to the emotional truths. What else? Divine timing is in play, luck, destiny. So this is coming fast, this powerful truth. It's kind of like you're going to wake up to something here. And the third clarification is the Emperor, Mr. Real World, the King of Kings. He is authoritative. He is confident of his command. Interesting. Like the sleepy couple, what they're not aware of is quite powerful and fast in the background. When I see the Emperor, I've learned from other tarot readers that he can represent the old world, the one that we feel like in this historical moment represents the past, and as we enter this new age, which we have been seeing as the rise of the feminine, right? You here as the Queen of Rods, male or female, a kind of feminine power here, which is also, I would say, signified by the moon in this. Take it how you will. As I keep pulling cards, it may become clearer what's happening here. So let's find out more about you, Queen of Rods. Oh, you are the Hermit as well. This means you have perhaps a good meditative practice right now. This is definitely connecting energetically. This person has levitated. They have ascended. This is a period of introspection, of going inward in order to find the truth. And it definitely reiterates and replicates this moon, intuitive, but still maybe seeking truth. It's coming in, according to the Knight of Swords. It's coming in, according to the Eight of Wands. What else? You are the Queen of Pentacles. You're a double queen here. This one is Queen of Earth, Queen of the 3D. She knows her worth, I often say. She is, again, much like your Strength card and this Hermit, she is centered. She is grounded like the Page of Pentacles. She's got that slow pentacle energy. This is what I feel in this. And I can also feel just under that, strangely, like that fiery anxiety of the Queen of Wands, of this creative bubbling up. It's sort of underneath the earthy power that I'm feeling coming into this reading on top of that Chariot. What else? There is a very nice sense also of fulfillment. This person is she's just opened her heart and flung herself right off into the feelings here. I definitely see the sun being reiterated in this. I see the fire of your Queen of Rods aspect. And I think, again, we see the tension that I dreamed about and that must be a part of the experience of being you, Gemini, between that earthy pentacles would be represented here by the chest of material wealth representing the 3D, and this kind of very emotional, inspired state that she is throwing herself off into. I notice that there are leaves growing from her dress. I've never noticed that before. You can see the leaves there. There's a little tension again between the earth and the passion, the emotional passion, between the cups, right? Perhaps your Ace of Cups is this Emperor, and you will become aware of this in divine time. All right, well, who is this Four of Swords? This person in your life or people in your life who have gone away to heal, and they're resisting communication with you. Let's see, they are in a process of ascension. They have, they're rising to the next level. This is, the Judgment card can mean that you bring other people with you. This person is very solitary. So you have kind of a loner showing up in your cards. They're spiritual. They have a practice of going alone to grow and heal. And that's what this person is appearing here in your cards. There's another beautiful representation of the healing process. The star also can represent wish fulfillment. And because you are also in hermit mode, and we can see you in the moon and under the Eight of Wands, right? So we have some replication of that sort of big passionate energy coming up in these two cards. I'm feeling that you are connected to this person, but not in the physical. You're emotionally connecting to them, even though they've gone away to heal. Or this could be another person that you're connecting to energetically, like looking up at the same stars. Because here's you meditating, and here is your friend or partner or other people in your life who are connecting to you spiritually. Could be on Zoom. Thirdly, there's the Tower. So this person is either going through a tower or they are a transformative person in your life. So because this storm here, this cleansing storm, the oracle card we drew is reminding me so clearly of the Tower. We can see lightning, the green new growth that comes after that rainfall, and the way that lightning can ignite trees and wake them up and cause them to reproduce. So this, I think, is a very beautiful, powerful tower. This person who is healing themselves is also ascending and connecting energetically. And this you may find to be quite transformative. I see this fulfillment in you happening, and this sense of your worth and your groundedness comes up in the Page of Pentacles several times here. You are grounded, but you are also passionately connecting to this Ace of Cups, this Four of Swords person in your life. And you experience this as potential, full of transformative power, very emotional, very intimate. Not easy to go through a tower, but an Ace of Cups is always worth it. Okay, your advice is the Sun. Let me actually go ahead and thinking about the Sun here. What is this advice? Very obviously it's a perspective shift into gratitude. What else? Again, you, the Queen of Wands, you appear twice in this reading. This is you. So to me, when you appear in your advice, it tells me, remember who you are, remember your passion. And that reiterates what I thought of when we see that you're in the moon right now and you're being advised to shift towards the sunnier, joyful, out in the open, perhaps don't keep secrets. Right? She is letting it all out. There's her black cat snuggled on that bed of light with her. She's just literally sitting in light, in enlightenment, just as you appear here, sitting in the light as the hermit. And remember, you are the Queen of Wands, of Rods. It's the same person. So you are your advice. That means, whatever that means, be true to yourself. Bring it out into the light. I say, speak your truth, whatever that is. 10 of Wands. The hard work is over. It's time to quit your job when you get this advice. It's time to change jobs. You've worked really hard. The cycle is ending, and you get to go towards the sun. Go here. It's okay to put the work down. It's really, 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 really clear to me. Like, it's time to play. It's time to have fun. And thirdly, your advice, reiterating, play and have fun. The 4 of Wands. You are having fun with your Ace of Cups here. This person is your true friend, your soulmate. You are able to be authentic together. You dance to the same music. It's camping under a starry sky. So, yeah, go for this Ace of Cups. You went to sleep on it. This reading, did you break this person's heart? Is that why they're healing? They're still reaching out to you. That's amazing. That's what I think. I think the person here is your Ace of Cups from the recent past or the past. I feel you got distracted by work. You got into a very private space under the moon. And yet you were still connecting energetically to this person, and they are reciprocating that energetic connection with you. And you are being invited to receive that love from that person, whoever that Ace of Cups was, right? You've gone unconscious, but that Ace of Cups is still there for you. They're hurting. Maybe you broke their heart. They're hurting. They're reaching out to you. You think of them as the tower, but you may also have been a tower in their life when you turned away from this cup of love towards your 3 of Pentacles present. Yep. So that's why it's telling you in your advice, look to the sun. You can quit your job. Go back on the road. Remember, you're traveling. You're on the chariot in the beginning. That momentum. You stopped. You went to work. That's over. The end of the work cycle. It's time to play with your fun friend. Wow. And that 4 of Wands, sometimes it's read as a marriage, a party. It can be a friend. It could be a lover. And death, the close, right? So this is the future. Transformation. If you take this advice, the future can change because you have free will. If you don't like the future, you might not want to take this advice, but definitely looks like rebirth if you go quit your job and go find this person. What else? Temperance. Okay. Here is the angel of temperance, grounded again, sitting on the earth. This deck uses that posture quite a bit. They are juggling the sun and the moon. So I see in the future you still are having this choice between staying in the secret, private world of the moon and coming out into the sun and taking this advice here of the sun. You might still be patiently juggling between the moon and the sun. You're presently immersed in the moon. And this angel says the transformation is nice and easy, nice and slow. Temperance can be associated with patience, balancing, kind of that transmutation of finding a mature, moderate way of going through this transformation that you associate with this person. What else in the present or the future? The future says total abundance, total happiness, community in the real world in your future. To me, this goes perfectly with this really sweet love that I see with this person that appears to have a broken heart because you've lost your momentum. And more waiting. It looks like, so the hangman is somebody waiting for somebody else to have a change of perspective. Maybe that's what this angel of temperance is juggling between the world of the pentacles and the new perspective that is lit up by the sun. So this, because you've been working hard, and you're getting tens here in the work world, 10 of wands, 10 of pentacles. This is very practical sort of energy, right? So again, your duality, Gemini, your two sides, your two aspects, that incredible strength that is your willpower, and then that kind of secretive, mysterious, intuitive side of you. So if you're juggling between the practical world and this tower, this transformation and rebirth that comes through a new perspective. Wow. That's what I dreamed, that you are in tension, but that in that space between your two aspects of you, between the twins, there is satisfaction and solitude, right? That's this 9 of Cups, that you're there for yourself. In fact, you're quite grounded and you know your worth. But you also do have this person that's healing. I've read it as healing from some kind of a heartbreak, you are being invited by these cards and by this energy of the cleansing storm to walk through this tower moment. There's divine timing in place. The wheel is here. The death card is here. You can't stop these things. When death appears in your future, although we say free will is in play, death is really the kind of transformation, unlike the tower, that this person represents the tower in this reading to you, or they're going through a tower, or you've put them through a tower, that's why they're healing. But when you see the death card, that's out of your control. You also have the wheel here, right? And this sense of the Emperor, this can be a controlling feeling, that you're being controlled. That's maybe, this is your hidden energy, this running away from, I feel like you're trying to avoid something that's unavoidable. It's a destined, fated connection. And there's great abundance in it. There's a 10 of Pentacles in it. And it is transformative. So I understand if you're afraid. And I also think you might as well focus on the sun. You might as well be this really fun Queen of Wands side of yourself, because the relationship looks like this. Being yourself with your person. And you got into work. and you hurt that person maybe, but they're still there for you. It's up to you. And it's not really up to you. That's the thing that I'm finding. It's like, I want to say you have free will, but I also wouldn't be surprised if I learned that you took this advice and you had this transformative relationship, whether it looks fun. It's definitely going to change your perspective. Or you said, no, I'm going to stay at work and I'm going to stay in the moon and I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And you still end up going through some kind of a transformative experience with this person who is reaching out to you through the stars energetically. Very, very powerful reading, Gemini. Yeah, I can see you might be feeling a little resistant because you've suffered. Yep. You've suffered, but there is a new offer. There is a King of Pentacles on offer. Remember, this is you. This is the 10 of Pentacles in your future. You and your counterpart in the deck. All right, let me know. It's very interesting. I feel the heaviness in you, and I can feel that energy. It's like a tingle in my legs, and I can feel you trying to tamp it down. So cards say, release, let it out, be in your fiery, fun side. Self side. Okay.